How's it going, everybody? Welcome to OP Entertainment. I'm Omar Darwish.
I'm Pratik Cherian.
And this is our top 5 movies of 2020 in a year where Marvel couldn't put out movies. Pratik, what do you think?
I'm excited to see this. I think this list is going to be all over the board, but it'll be fun. It'll be exciting. So just some quick ground rules on it. These are I think in most years we would say that we've seen a majority of the major releases in any given year, but with this year being what it was and so many movies going to streaming and everything else, this is really more of like our 5 combination of being our favorite and what we think are the best movies, some sort of blend of both. It's our own internal formulas.
Right, so it's pretty much a pick of like the movies we decided to watch, because we didn't see all the movies that came out, obviously, because they went to various streaming services, and we're not going to have every streaming service. So
plus pandemic.
Pandemic is the huge asterisk over all of this year. Well, last year.
Yeah, right. That's
2021. Happy New Year's, everybody. All right, so just to be clear, I can't see his list. He can't see my list. That's the purpose of this little Mandalorian artwork book that we have up here.
Yep.
And you want to get started?
Sure. You want me to go first? You want to go first?
Why don't you go ahead and go first?
Okay. I'm guessing your list?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So, top 5, number 5. Okay. Can I get no, because I guess director would give it away, huh?
I think you wouldn't know the director.
I wouldn't know the director. Yeah. Okay. All right.
I can look up the director's name, though, just to have it.
Yeah. Wow. Is number 5 Invisible Man?
No, it's not Invisible Man.
Okay. All right. I feel like this is just going to demonstrate what movies I don't know the director for and not what I think is actually your 5.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. You got a director for me?
Yeah. There's no way.
Okay, who is it?
So I'll give you the director. The director is Lorcan Finnegan.
Okay, all right, great.
You've never heard of?
You
don't know the Finn?
My apologies to the Lork out there, but okay. How about a studio? What studio was it?
So the studio behind it was.
The fact that you can't tell me off the top of your head is incredible.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's a super independent film, so that's why it's taking me a while to look it up.
Oh boy. Okay.
There was no major studio behind it. It was 2 people were the main production company.
Is this Vivarium?
This is Vivarium.
Oh
wow.
My god. Oh my god.
So Vivarium had a very limited release in 2019, so you could classify it as a 2019 movie, but it didn't release until 2020. And if you don't know what Vivarium is, I don't really want to even say. I think for most of these movies, we want you guys to check them out, so we're going to keep it, for the most part, spoiler-free, right?
Yeah.
So, but it's pretty much about these 2 people who are looking to buy a house, and let's just say things get weird.
Weird's one word for it.
Weird's the word for it, I think, right?
I would tell you where it is on my list, but I don't want to spoil it.
You don't want to get into the 20s and 30s of your list, yeah.
Right, because I've seen 20 movies.
I just love movies that are super original, and it just, maybe it didn't hit everything out of the ballpark, but it did enough for me to definitely recommend it for people. If you want like a super original, independent kind of, I don't know if you would call it sci-fi, but like,
it's not really sci-fi.
It's not really sci-fi. There's elements to it if you want to give it that, but it's kind of just like keeps you questioning what's happening on screen, you know?
And why you're watching it. And why you're there. Yes.
So if you couldn't tell, our lists are probably going to be pretty different. But yeah, Vivarium is my number 5.
I guess I shouldn't be surprised because you love movies where people are trapped in a house, trapped in a space, trapped on... You loved Lighthouse. You loved like anything where characters are trapped. You're here for it. So I guess I shouldn't be that surprised.
Because it forces the writers to write a good story. I'm going to say that a million times on this show. But,
all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, I'm actually super shocked you got that. Like I thought that was the one I was like, oh, this is one that's going to take him forever. He's not going to think this is going to be on the list. But all right.
All right. Okay.
Cool. Yeah, my number 5.
Number 4 then.
Number 4.
Okay. Give me a studio or a hint.
I'll give you a hint. It's a period piece.
You like a period piece? You hate period pieces.
It's period. I wouldn't say I hate period pieces.
You said like 3 weeks ago, if a movie takes place before electricity, you're out. What do you mean?
I said that because I'm not a huge fan of like Lord of the Rings or like swords and sandals or sables or whatever it is, the type of stuff, and so I kind of just said that as a jab. But this proves that I do like movies that take place that if it's a good story, and I'll give you another hint if it's shot really well.
Okay, shot really well.
Yes. The director would 100% give it away.
Okay.
And I think
Did he need to do a period piece this year?
no, not this year or ever yet. Aren't all movies period pieces if you think about it?
Okay, all right. No, we're not going there.
Do you need another hint?
Yes.
All right, I'll give you one of the actors.
Okay, fine.
Dean Charles Chapman.
Wow. Is that a supporting role? Is that the lead?
It's one of the leads.
One of the leads.
So there's a couple leads.
Oh, wait. Is this Trial of Chicago 7?
This is not Trial of Chicago 7.
Okay. Because I lose track of who all's in
But
that
that would
movie.
be a period piece. So it makes
It
sense.
would, yeah, technically.
But aren't all movies period?
I will. Okay. Production company or studio?
I'm deciding on if I want to give you that because it might give it away.
How would it give it away? Is it a studio that only did one movie this year?
No, but it's a studio that you know.
Yeah, I know most of them. That doesn't change anything.
All right, I'll give you another actor that was in it.
Okay, fine.
Colin Firth.
Colin Firth.
Colin Firth. These are the hints you've been given.
Oh boy. Colin Firth. Dean Chapman something.
Yep.
Okay.
Close enough.
Again, apologies to Dean What's Your Face because I didn't know you existed either. So,
Not everybody is Brad Pitt or Tom Cruise, all right, Pratik? Sometimes the little guys need some recognition. Sorry that every movie on my list isn't a Marvel, Disney. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. Sorry, actual cinema is on my list.
all
Pratik.
right. So, I got it. So
Sorry,
this is,
me and Scorsese are in the club together talking about this while you're over here making your corporate brainwash list.
spoiler alert: Bloodshot's number one on my
Oh my
list.
God.
So, I got nothing. I got absolutely nothing.
You got nothing? All right, I'll give you a hint. It didn't have its wide release until January 10th, but it released.
Son of a. Okay, all right, okay.
You know what it is?
1917.
1917.
Yeah.
Beautiful movie.
I forgot about that.
Amazing cinematography. The story is lacking a bit, but because it's pretty much all one shot, except for that one kind of hard cut in the middle.
Spoilers for a movie that came out at the beginning of 2020.
I think it was pretty well talked about that it was one shot, the movie. But
Well, the cut part.
Oh, the cut. Yeah, okay, well.
The cut's the only spoiler in the entire movie.
Spoiler alert, this movie cuts once. But honestly, it was great. Thoughts on 1917?
Maybe I'll save it for later on when it may or may not show up on my list. We'll see.
I wonder if it will. All right.
Okay, so that's
that's my
Vivarium
four.
5, 1917 4.
Mm-hmm. Completely different movies, and I'll say this next one is completely different from the last.
Tenet.
It's not Tenet.
Okay.
It's not Tenet.
Okay. Is this one Invisible Man?
This one's not Invisible Man either.
Oh, okay. All right, give me something. Any hint about this one?
It was filmed this year and released this year.
Filmed and released this year.
Filmed and released this year, which is super rare. And it was also kind of a surprise. Nobody knew it was coming out.
Okay. I assume it didn't release in theaters because if it was filmed and released this year, then no.
Didn't release in theaters, no.
Who's in it? Give me somebody. Give me an actor, director.
I'm not going to give you an actor or a director because it'll give it away.
Oh.
But
A studio? A streaming service?
this might give it away, but I'll give you a streaming service that
Okay.
I went to, Amazon Prime.
Oh. Damn. Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime was shot this year.
Duh. I'm dumb. Yeah.
I wouldn't say that.
You couldn't have given me like Mike Pence or Rudy Giuliani for
No,
actors?
because it would have definitely given it away.
All right, so Borat 2.
Borat 2 is 100% my number 3. I was waffling with giving it a number 2 until I saw another movie that's gonna be on the list. But yes, Borat 2 is super funny. If you don't like Borat or you've seen the original and you're not a huge fan of the original, then you're probably not gonna be a huge fan of this one. But growing up as a kid, I loved Borat, and like I would have, if you would have asked me even earlier this year, what's a movie franchise that could never, or a movie that could never become a franchise or could never happen today, I would say there's no way in hell they'll ever do another Borat movie, because Borat just can't be a thing. Borat 2 comes out this year, and they shot it in secret. I love everything it stands for. I love Borat 2. Like, without getting super political, I love Borat 2.
Haven't seen it. Probably should at some point, but
yeah, because you liked the first Borat, right?
Yeah, but how many years did it take me to see it?
But you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I think especially with Borat 2, you should watch it now. It's even a bit past its date for relevancy.
Yeah, I mean, they designed it to come out right before the election, so...
Yeah, and, maybe it did influence some people. Probably not.
I think that's part of the reason why I didn't actually go see it.
Right.
Because it felt like it was too tied to a time.
But also, the best type of satires are tied to, like, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, where we can make commentary on, like, what's going on.
That's fair. I was just, I don't know, I was looking for escape through most of that.
Right. You don't want to think about it, and this is kind of just putting it right in your face. Like, we know how dumb people are, we get it, but...
The internet exists, and it's
just because Sacha Baron Cohen is a genius, I think you should definitely check it out. And I'd recommend it to anybody above the age of probably 12.
Okay. All right, so that was 3.
That was 3.
So number 2. Trial of Chicago 7.
No, just spoiler because I kind of get into the last one. Yeah, Trial of Chicago 7 is a movie I actually just watched like pretty much right before we filmed this, and I had to put it on my list. Aaron Sorkin, this is his second movie that he's directed.
Yeah.
Oh my God. This guy is a powerhouse director. This movie, I won't put it up there with Social Network or Molly's Game, but it's right under them. Like, it's right under them. Molly's Game was his first, like, his directorial debut, and I was like, and I love Molly's Game. I know you love Molly's Game, right? And Social Network, right?
Yeah, that's why, because that's definitely a movie I'm going to get to, so no spoilers.
Yeah, I won't spoil anything about this. You guys should definitely check it out. I mean, how can you spoil history, honestly? But I won't spoil anything about it. Sacha Baron Cohen is amazing in it. My one gripe with the movie is Eddie Redmayne. I don't know if I'm a fan. He saves his role by the end, but I just feel like he doesn't have the bass or like the presence to like carry Sorkin's dialogue. Like, everyone's speaking so fast and loud, and he's kind of it's kind of I don't know what the word would be. Just he's not confident when he needs to be. But
I haven't seen the movie, but I've seen Eddie Redmayne do a movie, so I know exactly what you mean. Actually.
Yeah. It's literally like they're speaking at this volume and at this pace, and then it goes to Eddie Redmayne, and he's kind of talking like this, and it's like, okay, well, come on. But by the end of the movie, I actually really like his character, and I think I'll find less problems with him as I watch it in the future. And also, one great thing about this movie, Aaron Sorkin writes his dialogue in a way where everybody in the room is like smart. Like, everybody in the room is the smartest, wittiest part of Aaron Sorkin's writing brain, right? So for this, it makes more sense that everyone is smart and witty and has the perfect response, because they're all lawyers and they're all like, everybody is politically motivated kind of, and they'd have a political background and kind of they know how to speak like this, right? So it makes more sense. So it gave it more of like a realism than any of Sorkin's movies have had, maybe other than like Molly's Game and Jesse Eisenberg's dialogue in Social Network.
Right, but just Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah, like, there's no reason why, like, the janitor in Social Network should be, like, it's, like, speaking, like, so profoundly and, like, super witty and has the best comeback, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
But Sorkin is definitely my favorite writer in Hollywood right now. He's up there with my favorite directors. I think once he does another, like, movie, I'll be able to, like, put him up there, really, but...
Sorkin's one of the few people in Hollywood where if he's involved in a project at all, it's like, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
There's a dedicated group of fans out there who are going to flock to it.
So without spending too much time on it, guys, go check out this movie. I really would almost make this movie my number 1, but it's not. Something else is.
That'd be Invisible Man.
It has to be Invisible Man, yeah. Well, you've guessed it for 5, 4, 3, and 2. So other than 2, you didn't guess it for 2. But Invisible Man was... I guess Tenet now is the last movie I saw in theaters, but Invisible Man, I was happy to say was the last movie I saw in theaters. If theaters do end up never coming back,
they're coming back.
They're coming back now, but there was a time when that was in question. It's kind of still in question.
we're on opposite ends of that.
All right. Well, I think there was a time when the theaters were kind of in question if they were going to stay around. But Invisible Man was a movie that made me proud. Like I was like, I went into it because I liked the trailers. It looked interesting. There's just something about the way that this movie keeps like ramping up the level of excitement. Like it starts off and it's kind of just like an indie horror movie, and you don't really know what's going on. Like why is the guy putting her in this situation? Who is he? You don't know anything about any of the characters really, and it just ramps up to a level of like, I don't want to give any spoilers away, but like. Yeah. You kind of think that the movie's gonna go a certain way, and then like halfway through, it kind of flips genres on you a bit. You know?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah,
it's a good one. Yeah. Okay.
So, my favorite of the year for sure.
That's your top 5.
That's my top 5. Vivarium number 5, 1917 number 4, Borat 2, subsequent movie film or whatever it's called. It had a bunch of titles. They even changed its titles in the movie. And Trial of Chicago 7 at number 2, and then Invisible Man number 1.
All right. Awesome.
Definitely see all those movies.
Okay, switching over to my list.
Okay.
And all right. The problem is I have my entire 13 movie list on here.
Yeah.
And one of them, Uncut Gems, doesn't count because it's 2019. But I put it on my list.
If we were counting Uncut Gems, man, it'd definitely be on my list somewhere. I loved Uncut Gems, but A24 doesn't really miss.
Right. Yeah. So,
shout out Lighthouse.
God.
All right, so with your number 5, okay.
Okay, all right. So, my number 5.
Okay. You're gonna have to give me something, because I feel like you've seen more movies than me this year.
Well, yeah, I've seen a bunch. Okay, this one. Was
it released in theaters?
This one was released in theaters.
Birds of Prey.
No. No. Was released in theaters. It's a period piece. Which means something when I say it.
1917.
Yes.
What does that mean? Aren't all movies?
I swear to God. So thoughts on 1917 really quick. I mean, obviously you went into it. I would say for me, I enjoyed all of the acting in it was great. It felt like a prestige piece, you know, like from the entire production of it was great. I think I had a couple pacing issues with it. There were moments
it definitely slows down at a time. Yeah,
it definitely slows down, but when it's firing on all cylinders, it's hard to beat.
Yeah, for sure. My favorite part about the movie is, honestly, it doesn't even feel so much like you're watching a movie, but it almost feels like you're the cameraman. You're just kind of documenting this point in time, like something happening. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And it's really cool. It's really cool.
It's the way they utilize the one shot through the entire film that really helps put you.
Hard cut spoiler.
Right. But it really puts you into the film, and I love that.
Agreed.
Okay.
All right, good. Number 5.
So number 4 is I watched it right before we started shooting this because I knew you were watching something. So it did technically have a theatrical release, but it's a Netflix original. So
you didn't see Trial of Chicago 7, right? And that didn't have a theatrical release.
Yeah.
Netflix original.
It is a period piece, and it takes place in Chicago.
Hold on. Takes place in Chicago. Was Irishman this year?
No,
it's not Irishman. All right,
it's not Irishman. I'm pretty sure Irishman was last year,
and I'm pretty sure it's not Chicago, because all Scorsese movies have to take place in New York. Is it New York? I haven't even seen it.
I'd assume so.
Okay. Can I get an actor?
Ooh.
Or have I seen this?
I don't think so. Maybe.
I don't think I've seen it.
I want to give you an actor, but I really only recognize 2 actors, and they're the ones that are most well known for this. So I kind of want to give you a deep cut, but
I can't even think of a Netflix movie that was in theaters this year.
I mean, yeah.
Do you have a release date?
I don't. I just, when I was looking.
Well, pre-pandemic
right.
had to have been, right?
No, it wasn't pre-pandemic.
Oh, really?
It was post. Yeah. All right. Give me a second. Let me do some. Let's pull some things up here. Yeah. Honestly, there's no point in me giving you an actor because you're not gonna get.
How about director?
George Wolfe. I'll give you a producer.
Would that help?
I think it would.
Okay.
Denzel Washington produced it, or at least his production company did.
Well, Oh, is it? Is it the Five Bloods?
No, that's Spike Lee.
Well, I thought Denzel might have been involved.
Yeah.
Let me think. I don't know if I know the movie. I think I know the movie you're talking about, but I can't.
Give me an actor then. If you give me an actor, I'll tell you got it.
Is Yaya in it?
No.
Is Chadwick Boseman in it?
Yes.
Okay, what's the movie? I didn't see this, but I wanted to. I can't think about. Hold on. Denzel. I don't know the title of it, but I do know the movie you're talking about.
Viola Davis plays the lead. If that.
Yeah, I know what it is. I just can't think of the title.
So yeah, it's Ma Rainey's Black Bottom on Netflix.
What is it called?
Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Okay, see, I wouldn't have pulled that title. I do know what you're talking about, but I've heard good things.
Yeah, so that's number 4 on my list.
You just saw it?
I just saw it.
Okay.
I don't want to say that the fact that it's Boseman's last role influenced me on it, but he's spectacular in that movie.
Like you think maybe Whispers of Oscar noms?
Yeah, easily.
Okay.
Easily. He's I mean, far and away, if you just want to see Chadwick Boseman act, this is a movie to see just for that reason. It's based off of a play, so you kind of get that in that there's not a lot of scenes. Everything kind of takes place in one of 3 places.
Okay.
But still, again, it's a showcase for characters to act. Even Viola Davis, like, I'm not the biggest fan of her character in the movie, but she's clearly acting to the best of her ability here. So
okay. I love
Viola
Davis.
Yeah, if you want to see Chadwick Boseman act, just go watch that movie. That's what.
Well,
that's what
I'm
saying.
definitely gonna watch it now. Yeah, I didn't even know the title of it, but I had heard things about it. That's good. Okay, cool. All right. So we're on your number 3 then, right?
Yeah. So this would be number 3.
Tenet.
Yes.
Oh,
wow.
Had a vibe. Just had a vibe.
Man, I was all ready to pull out like palindrome as a hint.
Okay. I thought I honestly I wish I didn't guess it because I want to know what your hints would have been, but we're very on opposite ends of Tenet. I think maybe if I watched it a second time, I'd probably like it a bit more, but Tenet just did not do it for me. I'll let you speak its praises. Go ahead.
No, so Tenet's one of those movies that I think...
I'm shocked it's not your number 1.
No, it's a movie that definitely benefits from multiple watches. If you see it more than one time, I think it helps it make sense because you kind of know what to look for.
Yeah.
The movie, especially the first time you watch it, it doesn't really explain to you what's going on. It just kind of drops you into the middle of it. And it removes a lot of your traditional beats that you'd be looking for in a movie that kind of clue you in on what's going on.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So so you could say that it's intentionally confusing. But I again, if you see it more than one time,
intentionally unnecessary. It's intentionally unnecessary. This dude, I'm not even gonna rant.
Don't rant because no, it's honestly great. I don't want to really spoil anything for you. People always ask me when they find out I've seen it. They're always like, "Oh, so what's it about?" And I'm like, "Well, that's the thing. If I tell you, I'm spoiling it." And the actors couldn't even answer that question.
Yeah.
That's their job. So I'm not about to start.
There's good stuff in there. It's just very few and far between, and you have to jump these unnecessary.
No, it's great start to finish. It's a thrill ride all the way through. I can't speak highly enough of it.
It'd probably be like in my top 10 of the year, but I didn't see that many movies this year. So
the biggest complaint about the movie to me is just the sound mixing, which again was intentional. That's a Nolan choice, but it does again with that whole like
intentionally inaudible.
Yeah. Well, again with that whole like it's removing a lot of the things that you depend on for figuring out what's going on in a movie. And that's one of those things where it's like, You know what? You're not going to hear all the dialogue. And the entire time you're sitting there and straining, like maybe this is important. Maybe this is important. And so it's one of those movies that's really, really doing a lot of misdirection as far as where you're supposed to be looking.
Yeah. For very unobvious reasons that are still unclear to me. But yeah, no, Tenet.
Okay.
Go see it?
Tenet. Go see it.
All right.
All right. So number 2.
Okay, number 2.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. I'm gonna need a hint because I really thought Tenet was gonna be your top 2. So
no. I'm trying to remember. This is A24. No, it's not. It's Universal. Yeah, it's Universal.
Oh, okay. So this is Invisible Man.
Yes.
Love Invisible Man.
It's
I think
so
we've
good.
gushed enough about it, right? Unless what do you have?
I don't really have anything to add to it. I think as we're gushing, the only drawback I had was that there were a couple. I don't think it's a spoiler to say there's an invisible man in this movie, but
What? He's behind you, fatigue.
But I did think some of the action sequences with the Invisible Man it's a person acting against a green screen in a way, and so some of the effects, like you're watching it, it's like this actually kind of looks dumb because it's just a person flailing.
Maybe. I think I know what scene you're talking about.
It's that kitchen scene. The kitchen scene's especially bad.
It's very brief though, and it's not like. I think if it would have gone on for longer, I would have been like, okay, I don't know how much longer I could see her hold nothing choking her, right?
But it wasn't just that; it was the like the falling backwards and the lunging. Like it's all makes sense in the context of the story, but the second you're watching it and you're just like, okay, I'm just watching a person flailing on screen.
I think in the same way when you watch a TV show, you got to understand they're using a television budget. Blumhouse makes their movies for pocket change.
Well, but again, it's not really. It has nothing to do with the effect because the effect isn't bad. And
think
again, there's nothing else you
it
could have
done better. Right?
Yeah, just the way it was shot could have been a little bit better. Okay.
I kind of agree with that, but I still think this movie is a 10 out of 10, honestly.
Okay.
All right. Now we're at your number one.
Number one.
You know what? I don't know if I would have originally guessed this as your number one, but considering it wasn't in your top 5 coming to this point, is it Soul?
Yeah, wow.
Okay.
Wow, I wasn't expecting that. Okay. Yes. Soul on Disney Plus. It's funny we mentioned Scorsese because after I watched this movie, the thing I came away with was that's art. Like that was art. Like we've had this argument. We've had this argument about like what art is and what like our movies art is all art. Like it's all movies art, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
And the thing I kept coming back to when we had those discussions was you know it when you see it. Like when something's art, you know it. And this is one of those movies where you walk away and you're like, that was art. Especially for someone like me who loves animation. Okay. I mean, the animation in this was absolutely incredible. The level of detail that they put into every scene. And it wasn't. I think there's some movies where like the animation is great, but it's always rendered in the same style, and so after a while you kind of become numb to how amazing it is. And this movie does a fantastic job of switching up scenery, switching up the style, and just making. I mean, there's just moments where the vividness of what you're watching is mind blowing.
It sounds like maybe that was just the highest point, but is the animation the big draw, or is it? Is the story? Does the story?
No, the story is fantastic.
On par with the animation.
Yeah, it's on par with the animation.
Okay.
It's inspirational. I think if they're the only drawbacks I have with the movie, and they're not even really drawbacks.
Spoiler free, right?
Spoiler free drawbacks. So, and it's twofold. One, it's not really a movie for kids. Like if your kids watch it, I don't know that they're going to get it.
But I think Pixar does that though. They make like it's kid friendly, but it's not for kids. They make their movies as good movies, but you can take your kid. Your kid's not going to be scarred, right?
No, absolutely not. I mean, it's a movie that's all about just purpose and what makes life worth it. And it's one of those things that I don't think you're going to understand until you've actually lived life for a little bit. Yeah,
Soul is one that I really wanted to get in before we made this list, but I just didn't have the time to. I imagine it probably would have been somewhere on my top 5. Maybe it would have knocked out Vivarium, but yeah, that's definitely one I want to see. So yeah,
but along those lines too, the other drawback that I had with the movie is just that the story is fantastic. These aren't characters that you're going to be like, man, I can't wait to see Soul 2. Like, no, actually, this is
an open and closed story.
It's an open and closed story. If I never see these characters
again,
I'm going to be
That's the best though. Yeah. I love when movies do that. Okay, where does it rank on your Pixar list? Do you not?
I haven't put it there.
Got you.
The Pixar list is difficult because nostalgia clouds so much of that.
Yeah, it does. It does.
My number one Pixar movie is what is it? It's either Monsters Inc. or Toy Story 3 or Toy Story 1. Ooh,
yeah.
See, there we go. I've listed 5 movies.
I think Incredibles and Monsters Inc. You got to put those, but it's hard with Toy Story. You know what? We're gonna do a separate list. Leave a comment down below if you want us to do a Pixar list. We'll do one.
There you go. But yeah, so that's my 5.
Yeah, well, I liked your 5 except for Tenet.
All right, you want to take us out? You want me to take us out?
Go ahead and take us out, Pratik.
Okay, well, thanks for watching, everybody. Tune in next week when we're going to talk about our most anticipated movies of 2021. I kept going for projects so I could include WandaVision, but but yeah, it's going to be most anticipated movies of 2021.
Yeah.
We'll come
Because if we were doing projects even for this one, I think Mandalorian would have definitely been on there, right?
I mean, we made a podcast about it, so
Yeah,
I hope so.
yeah, probably. But yeah, guys, see you next time. Thanks for joining us.
See ya.